Phoenix. This name was on everyone's lips when this legendary creature first took flight in the arena.
This is the dumbest way to win in Clash Royale. Why did this just happen?
Phoenix Rebirth!
We just won the game. There's nothing he can do. He literally cannot.
The mention of its name alone was enough to send shivers down the spines of even the most skilled players. And no one could have predicted the firestorm it would ignite across the world of Clash Royale. Players watched in awe as the Phoenix's flames scorched the battlefields, leaving nothing but ashes in its wake.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, guys, he's dead. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh my god.
It seemed like the Phoenix would never vanish, with its usage rate soaring to an astonishing 85%. The arena was forever changed, as the Phoenix's reign seemed unending. The Phoenix's presence single-handedly reshaped the meta, boosting the usage rates of some cards to extreme highs while causing others to completely vanish from arenas. This is the untold story of how one legendary card rose to dominance and left an indelible mark on the world of Clash Royale. Picture this, it's late 2022, and players are blissfully unaware that their beloved Clash Royale is about to be turned upside down by a game-changing update.
So Tag says this will be the best update in Clash Royale has ever released. Morton says this might be the best Clash Royale update ever.
On October 26th, the Monk and the Phoenix burst onto the scene, poised to unleash a firestorm of change upon the arena. Little did anyone know that the Phoenix would soon become the talk of the town, capturing the hearts and minds of players everywhere.
Phoenix is so strong!
With its incredibly low elixir cost and unmatched value, the Phoenix quickly became the go-to card for players of all skill levels. As more and more players added the Phoenix to their decks, its impact on the game became impossible to ignore. The Phoenix's presence became inescapable, its fiery wings casting a shadow over every battle. The Clash Royale community was divided.
I think we need to buff the Phoenix. I think the Phoenix needs a buff.
Some players loved the excitement and unpredictability the Phoenix brought to the game, while others voiced their discontent, arguing that it was simply too overpowered. Despite the debate, one thing was clear. The Phoenix had arrived, and it was here to stay. Its impact on Clash Royale was undeniable, and players knew that they were witnessing a defining moment in the game's history. But the true level of Phoenix's dominance is revealed when we go deeper into the usage statistics at the highest levels of play. Despite being introduced in October and only being available for a mere 5 days, the Phoenix skyrocketed to an incredible 58.7% usage rate among the top 1,000 players worldwide. So let that sink in for a moment. 587 of the game's elite had already maxed out their Phoenix and incorporated it into their decks. But the most remarkable statistic stands out when we focus on the top 30 players in the world. Out of these 30 exceptional players, an astonishing 29% of them had the Phoenix as the centerpiece of their decks. That's a 97% usage rate among the very best players in the game. Never before had a single card exhibited such an iron grip on the meta, leaving an incredible mark on the annals of Clash Royale history. The Phoenix had taken the arena by storm, leaving players and analysts alike scratching their heads.
You're gonna Fireball the Eye Drag pretty much in Spellslicker range at this point, and Phoenix killed the Inferno Dragon. Like, this is such a ridiculous card, man. And look at that, it respawned, because if it's far enough from the tower, it does respawn. It might actually get a hit there and just win. Oh my god, of course it did.
But what exactly made the Phoenix such a formidable force? Was it the blistering attack speed, the game-changing revival ability, or perhaps players just simply hadn't figured out how to counter it effectively? To fully grasp the immense value the Phoenix brings to the table for its modest 4 elixir cost, we must delve into its formidable stats. But before we do, I wanted to take a moment to share my gratitude for your guys' support. These videos take a tremendous amount of effort to make, and if you enjoy the content, consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you're looking for a friendly, engaging place to hang out, share tips, and have a great time, our Discord server is the perfect spot for you. I'd love to see you there and get to know you better. Link is down in the description below. Now, let's compare it to the Mega Minion, both at tournament level 11. The Phoenix boasts an impressive 45% more health than the Mega Minion, allowing it to survive even a devastating lightning spell. Also, the Phoenix's damage output is equally remarkable, dealing a staggering 38% more damage per second than the Minion. Its astonishing 78% faster hit speed enables it to quickly obliterate swarms like minions and bats, making it a versatile and efficient card in various situations. But if that weren't enough, the Phoenix also packs a devastating death damage upon its first defeat. However, the Phoenix's true power lies in its awe-inspiring ability to rise from the ashes, like the mythical bird of legend that it's named after. If players fail to destroy the egg within a brief 4-second window, the Phoenix will resurrect at full health, ready to wreak havoc once more. This revival mechanic makes the Phoenix an incredibly difficult card to fully eliminate, as it essentially requires double the effort to take down. All of these incredible abilities and stats are available for just one more elixir than the Mega Minion. So it's no wonder that players at all levels flocked to this impressive card, eager to harness its power and dominate the arena. With its current state, it's not hard to imagine that the Phoenix could easily cost 5 elixir and still be considered a strong card. To illustrate this point, let's look at a gameplay clip, a raged-up Mega Minion going head-to-head with a Phoenix. Despite the boost from the Rage spell, the Mega Minion stood literally no chance against the Phoenix's sheer power. But the most frustrating aspect of the Phoenix was its ability to respawn from its egg, especially when combined with the Rage spell. With 34% more health and a respawn time of only 4 seconds compared to the current 4.3, the Phoenix could revive in a mere 3 seconds under the influence of Rage. This allowed the Phoenix to respawn even when it was incredibly close to the Princess Tower, despite the tower's relentless attack on the egg. The Phoenix's egg respawn time mechanic was a game-changing feature that left opponents frustrated and desperately seeking counters. Even without the added boost of the Rage spell, if the Phoenix fell in battle far enough from the Princess Tower, it had the potential to rise from the ashes once more. See, this was particularly problematic because the Phoenix's egg possessed a significant amount of health, making it incredibly difficult to destroy. In fact, even the trusty log failed to eliminate the egg entirely. Players found themselves locked in a relentless battle, striving not only to take down the Phoenix, but also to destroy the egg before it could rise again. The Phoenix's respawn mechanic was a source of frustration for many players, who felt that it was overpowered and difficult to counter effectively. The fact that the egg could withstand even the log, a spell that had been a reliable choice for dealing with ground-based threats, only added to the sense that the Phoenix was simply too strong. Another gameplay clip perfectly illustrates the frustration players experienced when facing the Phoenix. This guy places his Phoenix and the opponent immediately responds by using his rocket to destroy it. Then he uses a log to take out the egg, but due to the egg's substantial health, the log fails to eliminate it. In a desperate attempt, the opponent uses Tornado, but to no avail. In total, the opponent spent a staggering 11 elixir trying to counter the Phoenix, yet it survived. The Phoenix's widespread presence was undeniable. It found its way into every archetype imaginable: Lava Hound, Mortar, Hog 2.6, Graveyard, Expo, you name it. Phoenix was there. As players desperately sought ways to counter the Phoenix's dominance, they turned to cards that could effectively deal with it and its egg. One card in particular saw a meteoric rise in popularity: the Firecracker.
These firecrackers just never die. There's just so many. They just never die. Please die, firecracker.
Oh my god, this actually sucks. Oh my god.
Firecracker might be the hardest counter to the Phoenix.
With its ability to deal damage to both the Phoenix and its egg from a safe distance, the Firecracker became an essential tool in the fight against the Phoenix's reign. Her usage rates skyrocketed by hundreds of %, as players desperately adjusted their decks to include this powerful counter. What made the Firecracker so effective against the Phoenix was her ability to hit both the Phoenix and its egg. This allowed players to efficiently deal damage to both targets, increasing their chances of preventing the Phoenix from respawning. The Firecracker's sudden rise to prominence in the meta was more than a fleeting moment. She had a fascinating history in Clash Royale, with her usage rates and effectiveness kind of fluctuating over time. The Firecracker's ascent during the Phoenix's meta showcased how a single card could reshape the landscape of the game. As players adapted to the Phoenix's strength, they discovered new strategies and card combos that could effectively counter it. Amidst the chaos, one particular deck rose to prominence: the combination of Monk, Phoenix and Elixir Collector. The Monk, while not as overpowered as the Phoenix, was still incredibly strong in his own right. At a mere 4 Elixir cost, he established himself as the best champion at the time. Players enjoyed the unique playstyle his ability offered, and eagerly experimented with the possibilities the Monk presented.
Don't tell him, boy.
Oh, you're gonna monk the monk! No!
Look at this. The monk actually reflects the monk's reflection. Like, that's...
Although it was undoubtedly an entertaining period, the meta dominated by cards like Phoenix and Monk left little room for skill expression or experimentation. Decks like the Miner Pump 2.8 flourished in this meta. The strategy revolved around spamming as many Phoenixes as humanly possible, often resulting in effortless 3-crown victories. The Phoenix popularity soared to unprecedented heights, reaching the highest record usage rate of any card in a grand challenge, peaking in the 80s. So immense was the Phoenix's impact that it even propelled the Mirror spell to become the 3rd most popular card in the game, hitting its highest usage rate ever. Supercell quickly realized that Phoenix's strength was far too overwhelming and began implementing a series of balance changes to bring the card in line with the rest of the game. In early November, an update decreased Phoenix's damage by 10% and increased the Phoenix's egg's lifetime to 4.3 seconds from 4 seconds flat. However, despite this nerf, the Phoenix's effectiveness remained largely unchanged. Its value was still so incredible that it continued to be used in every deck, and its usage rate continued to soar. By the end of November, Supercell released another balance update, this time focusing on the Phoenix's egg itself. They decreased its hit points by 34%, finally making it possible to destroy the egg with the log. Additionally, the Phoenix would no longer respawn if the Princess Tower locked onto the egg immediately after the Phoenix's death. These changes brought a breath of fresh air to the meta, and players hoped that other cards would finally have a chance to shine once more. However, the reality was quite different. Astonishingly, the Phoenix's usage rate in November soared even higher than its already impressive October numbers, rising from 58.7% to an astonishing 70.1%. Out of the top 1,000 players, 710 of them had the Phoenix in their decks, a testament to its continued dominance despite the nerfs.
Your tower, but they keep going after the poor egg, man. So before I read you again the reactions, let's go ahead and take a quick look at look at this. This is insane. This is insane, guys. I don't think, and I'm not being hyperbolic here, I don't think I've ever seen this before. The use rate has after that massive nerf, it's gone down. The good news is the use rate has gone down almost 3%. The bad news is it was around 71% use rate. That is obscene, absurd. How many other words can I think of? I can't think of any. It's crazy.
The tide finally turned in December, when the Phoenix received its biggest nerf yet. A balance update decreased the Phoenix's hit points by 13%, but the Monk, another powerful card often paired with the Phoenix, also received a significant nerf. The Monk's elixir cost was increased from 4 to 5, rendering it the most useless champion in the game. This marked the end of what many call the Fonk meta. The Monk's usage rate plummeted dramatically, showcasing the impact of a single elixir cost increase. In November, the Monk had a usage rate of 35.7%, but after the nerf in December, it fell to a mere 1.3. The number of top players using the Monk dropped from 357 in November to just 13 in December, a staggering 96.4% decrease in use. The Phoenix, on the other hand, saw its usage rate drop from 70% in November to 29.6% in December. And while this was a significant decrease, the Phoenix remained a strong and viable card, potentially still one of the best in the game. This chain of events clearly demonstrated that even after 3 rounds of nerfs, the Phoenix's power level was still not in line with other cards. It took multiple attempts to bring the Phoenix down to a more balanced state, highlighting just how incredibly strong it had been upon release. As the ashes settled on the Phoenix and Monks meta in December, the Clash Royale community found themselves at a crossroads. The game had undergone a series of seismic shifts, with once dominant cards falling from grace and new strategies emerging in their wake. But even as players adapted to the new landscape, there was a sense that something even greater was on the horizon. The year 2023 loomed large, promising a new era of Clash Royale, filled with exciting possibilities and unforeseen challenges. And as we bid farewell to 2022 and the meta that defined it, we looked forward to the dawn of a new era. The stage is set, the players are ready, and the excitement is building. In the electrifying world of Clash Royale, where the unexpected reigns supreme, the best is always yet to come.
It's the power of attack!
It's 2023, and the Phoenix has settled into a steady usage rate of around 30% across all levels of play. Despite the relentless onslaught of nerfs, the Phoenix defiantly remains as one of the game's most devastating cards. However, in February, a balance update introduced a new change. A reborn Phoenix would now spawn with only 80% of the original Phoenix's hit points and damage, and the reborn Phoenix would appear slightly smaller. This nerf was significant, as it meant that the reborn version of the Phoenix was no longer as threatening as before. While it still couldn't be ignored if it reached a Princess Tower at full health, if it spawned far enough away, the Princess Tower could now take it out with relative ease. One might expect the Phoenix's usage rate to have suffered greatly from this change, but surprisingly, it didn't. See, in March, the Phoenix still managed a usage rate of around 27% at the top of the ladder. The Phoenix's reign seemed far from over, as it continued to float across the arenas as if nothing had happened. However, everything took a different turn in April. Yet another balance update in April decreased the Phoenix's death damage by 10%. This nerf was another huge hit, and the Phoenix's usage rate started to suffer tremendously. In April, its usage rate dropped to 7.3%, a staggering 75% decrease compared to the previous months. This devastating blow left Phoenix players reeling, but little did they know the worst was yet to come. Just as players were adjusting to the Phoenix's new stats, they were hit with another significant balance update in June. This update increased the Phoenix's attack time interval to 1 second, up from 0.9. It seemed that the Phoenix was on the verge of becoming the worst card in the game. However, something unexpected happened. In a stunning twist of fate, the Phoenix's usage rate soared to new heights in June, propelled by the game-changing introduction of Evolution. The evolved Royal Giant in particular paired exceptionally well with the Phoenix. Players could cheaply defend with the Phoenix and then counterattack with the Royal Giant, Lumberjack, and Fisherman. The Phoenix usage rate skyrocketed from 7.3% in April to 16.2% in June, an astounding 120% overall increase. The Phoenix was back, and it was stronger than ever before. Despite everything that had happened, that being the 7 huge nerfs over just 8 months, the Phoenix still dominated the arena. This incredible journey serves as a testament to just how unbelievably broken the Phoenix was when it was first released into the game. Its ability to withstand nerf after nerf after nerf after nerf after nerf after nerf and still remain a top-tier card is a reminder of its initial power and the impact it had on the meta. As we continue through 2023, all eyes will be on the Phoenix to see how it fares in the ever-changing landscape of Clash Royale. One of the best Royal Giant players was Mohamed Light, who ended up ranking second in the entire world. He absolutely dominated the arenas with this deck, showcasing his incredible ability to quickly outsmart his opponents. In one particularly impressive gameplay, Mohamed Light forces out the opponent's Archer Queen with the Phoenix and immediately drops the Royal Giant on the other side of the arena. He then continues to build up a devastating push with the Fisherman, leaving his opponent helpless against the onslaught. It is always a treat to watch Mohamed Light in action, as he consistently demonstrates his mastery of the game. In another match, Mohamed Light showcases his skill and capitalizing on the Phoenix's unique abilities. He easily defends against enemy pushes with the Phoenix, slowly but surely building up an overwhelming counter push that his opponent simply can't handle. This match serves as a reminder that regardless of the meta, Mohamed Light always finds a way to be one of the best players in the world. Phoenix proves to be a valuable asset in Muhammad Light's hands. In one instance, it efficiently takes out a group of barbarians and later manages to eliminate a skeleton dragon. These small victories add up, overwhelming his opponent and forcing them to spend elixir inefficiently. As the match progresses, Muhammad Light's opponent finds themselves unable to counter the Royal Ghost on the right side of the arena. Once again, Muhammad Light secures a decisive victory. His strategic use of the Phoenix, combined with the raw power of the evolved Royal Giant, creates a formidable combo that few opponents can withstand. As the Clash Royale community watches in awe, Muhammad Light continues to set the standard for high-level play. His matches serve as an inspiration to aspiring players, demonstrating the importance of quick thinking, adaptability, and the effective use of each card's unique strengths. In a game where the meta is constantly shifting and balance changes can make or break a card's viability, Muhammad Light stands as a shining example of what's possible through dedication, skill, and unwavering passion for the game. In a stunning turn of events, the Phoenix reign over the Clash Royale meta came to an abrupt end in the latter part of 2023. The introduction of two new cards, the Evo Archers, and a new champion, the Little Prince, drastically altered the landscape of the game, leaving the once dominant Phoenix struggling to find its place. The impact of these new additions cannot be overstated. Let's take a look at Full Tilt Gaming's video, Phoenix is Dead in Clash Royale, posted at the end of November.
The Phoenix is dead in Clash Royale. This is all I hear when talking about nerfing the Little Prince right now. People say they don't want the Little Prince to be nerfed to the ground like the Phoenix was, but I don't really understand why many of y'all think the Phoenix is dead. There are two very clear reasons why the Phoenix use rates are down to normal levels at 5%. The first one is the Evo Knight. Since the Evo Knight has been so good, it has replaced the Skeleton King and Valkyrie in so many decks, so people are replacing the Phoenix with the Baby Dragon to get some of that splash damage back. The other reason is the struggles of the Royal Giant. Royal Giant was one of the main decks the Phoenix has been used in, so when the Royal Giant's usage rates dropped, Phoenix rates dropped with it. None of these reasons have anything to do with the Phoenix itself, but the overall meta of Clash Royale.
It was clear that the Phoenix was still far from dead, and it showed. We could see it quite often in the 2023 World Finals. Let's take a look at the most memorable matches in which the Phoenix played a key role. I carefully analyzed over 14 hours of gameplay to bring you the best of the best. The first match was between Air Surfer using the Balloon Phoenix deck and Muhammad Light with the Royal Hogs. In this match, we can see the significant role the Phoenix played. Air Surfer did an amazing job applying pressure on Muhammad Light with the Monk, Phoenix, and Balloon, making it very difficult to defend.
And the idea that you can have skeletons save you in a moment like that is a really, really great call. So shout out to you, Rich. I know you're going to be here in just a minute.
But this is not the evil version of Skellies here. These piggies are doing some great damage. Archers do go down, and the second set of archers do as well. This Phoenix is looking scary.
The Monk is reflecting. The Phoenix is right there. Delivery comes in. 10:54, 10:33, neck and neck, 30 seconds remaining in regulation.
You almost couldn't ask for a closer game. We got wind conditions coming down both lanes, archers on defense on the left, and we got a bomb tower on defense on the right.
And Balloon comes in again, a late Goblin Cage, and that's it! That is it! Muhammad Light needs a miracle!
Even the Evo Archers in Muhammad Light's deck weren't enough, and surprisingly, Air Surfer beat Muhammad Light 3-1. In the following match, we can see Mugi using the Electro Giant Phoenix deck against Adriel's Goblin Giant Sparky deck. This match was also very intense, and we can see just how much value the Phoenix provided for Mugi, especially against Sparky, since the Phoenix is a perfect counter.
Minions people have been talking about a lot because they do a really, really good job countering that Little Prince. I think it's honestly just for you. You're getting trolled by the pros here. And Goblin Giant Kite here. I really like this. We got
Goblin Giant in front of the Sparky. It does go down, but Dark Prince on the right-hand side requires a little extra attention here. Goblin Giant does not get onto that left-hand tower. So far, so good in this exchange, but Mugi has work to do.
Yeah, this is always a bit of an interesting match. I mean, honestly, two of the most popular decks, and he has that 20-win badge.
Goblin Giant right-hand side. NATO to pull it all together. Archer going to work from a distance. And here we go. What can Mugi do with the dual lane pressure of the nasty new evolved archers?
Yeah, those Evo archers when far enough away are just absolutely devastating.
Sparky, this Dark Prince going opposite lane pretty much the entire time.
The pacing, as you talked about before from Adriel, is really, really impressive for someone making their World Finals live stage debut here.
But he can't keep this pacing at this same spot, though, Andrew, because look, 30 seconds left, he's behind, and it's Lightning NATO against Fireball Rage. He has to get something done.
So you see him going high here with the Sparky, hoping that he can get that, away from that Lightning, but still not going to deal it because of those Evoed Archers sniping from across the board, and this might be the push to do it here for Mugi.
The late game heroics for Mugi, and this should be enough. Evo Archers go wild on the right-hand side. Fireball is not going to do it. And
chipping away at other troops like Minions, Mini P.E.K.K.A, and Dark Prince also proved incredibly valuable. The match was very enjoyable to watch, and Adriel did his best to try and overwhelm Mugi's defenses. However, despite all his efforts and the power of the Evo Archers, he was unable to secure victory, as the Phoenix was always there, defending extremely well. In the next match, we have Wallace using a Balloon Freeze deck with Evo Archers. And on the other side, Ardentois with the Royal Giant Phoenix deck. Ardentois made a great choice with this deck, as the Royal Giant and Phoenix proved to be extremely useful in this match, especially since Ruben had no building in his deck. All he could do was Tornado or freeze the Royal Giant, which was not a good play. The Phoenix proved itself dominant, taking out the Balloon, Bowler, and Lumberjack throughout the match, showing that even after all the nerfs it received, nothing could stop its power in battle when it was played correctly.
And that is massive damage for Wallace. A lot to deal with on the left-hand side, though, as Wallace does face a Bowler, a Ghost, and a Phoenix. Ghost goes invisible. Wow. Electro Dragon gonna get lightninged off, and look at this lead that Arden's about to take as we go into sudden death.
And nothing to support this Phoenix on the right-hand side, no, but does get a little bit of chip damage in and out. We'll see.
Trying to find some opportunity to get through on this right-hand side, and now Phoenix is distracted. Does he have a way to keep that Phoenix away?
And the freeze, there's the freeze!
He has to NATO this Phoenix away. Can he do it? But no, the King Tower activation will prevent that, and this might be it, Andrew.
Yeah, he's got to deal with this Royal Giant. He does have NATO to pull it back. I believe there's the NATO, but he got a shot.
Despite Wallace's best efforts against Ardentois, it wasn't enough to secure victory, and Wallace was eliminated. The following match was between Samuel Bizotto and Muhammad Light. Samuel Bizotto chose a minor balloon deck, while Muhammad Light opted for a Royal Giant Phoenix deck. This match was absolutely amazing, and we can just see why Muhammad Light truly is the best player in the world. The Phoenix proved to be extremely effective against the Monk and Balloon, and Samuel Bizotto had a big issue breaking through Muhammad Light's defenses.
Quickly, I can't help but think that was a mistake. Is Mo Light gonna win this match already?
Right there, Monk able to get the RG down, but the Phoenix is going to be able to wake up and take everything out. Mo with a brilliant start, only giving up a slight damage. And Bizotto going to struggle against this. Forces out a snowball as well. Muhammad Light in a brilliant spot right now. A lot of Balloon this weekend. Always a fun card to watch because it's so important to recognize what cards are out of cycle right now. Bizotto thinks that it's the perfect time to go in. The Archers are going to take out the Phoenix all the way. This is going to be a Balloon on tower. Mo taking a ton of damage right now. That's going to get another shot at no. Wow. Bizotto not able to get the third shot from the Balloon.
Balloon doesn't get another shot, but this RG is going to get a ton. RG goes, Phoenix on tower. Tower going down before double elixir is even in play, and this push is not done yet.
Everything in the pocket forces out the arrows. The Archers are going to come down on the board, going to be able to take out the RG. Think that his Loon is going to go in front, and right there, Mo gets it. He's trying to bring the Monk back, and he finally gets it. Forces Bizotto to have the Loon cross with nothing to protect. That was a beautiful cat and mouse game from both of these brilliant pros.
It goes down, only 20 seconds left on the clock. Another Balloon inbound. Mo Light does have the Phoenix here to defend, plus a Rage Arrows.
He did his best to outsmart Muhammad Light, but to no avail, and Muhammad Light secured a very easy victory. Muhammad Light is simply on another level. One of the Mo moments we can see here is when Samuel Bizotto had a great chance to break through using the Monk's ability, deflecting Muhammad Light's fireball and taking down the tower. However, Mo knew all he had to do was fireball just the Balloon and not hit the Monk, just in case Samuel popped the ability. These small, subtle interactions often secure Muhammad Light's victories. One worthy mention goes to Ruben using Ram Rider bridge spam with the Mega Knight and Phoenix against Pandora using an Electro Giant deck. In this moment, we can see how good of a support the Phoenix provided, taking out the Baby Dragon and then the Barb Barrel, and applying immense pressure on Pandora, who was forced to use Tornado. However, the Mega Knight didn't stop there and almost took out the tower, eventually securing victory for Ruben. Despite the Phoenix being so popular among top players, it didn't take long for it to completely vanish from the arenas. In December 2023, the Phoenix hit its lowest point in Clash Royale history, plummeting from an astonishing 80% usage rate in November 2022 to a mere 1.5% just a year later. This unprecedented shift in the meta left players and spectators alike in awe of the game's ever-changing nature. To put this into perspective, out of the top 1,000 players, only 15 still had the Phoenix in their decks. The card that had once been a staple in nearly every high-level battle had become a rarity, its effectiveness diminished by the sheer power of the Evo Archers and the Little Prince. The Phoenix, which had weathered numerous balance changes and nerfs, seemed to have finally met its match. Players who had relied on the Phoenix's unique abilities and resilience found themselves struggling to adapt to the new meta, seeking out new strategies and card combos to stay competitive. As the Clash Royale community witnessed this dramatic fall from grace, many were left wondering if this was the end of the Phoenix's dominance. Would the once mighty card ever recover from this devastating blow? Could it find a way to rise from the ashes once more? Or was it doomed to fade into obscurity? But in a twist that no one saw coming, this was not the end of the Phoenix's story. In fact, it was merely the beginning of a new chapter, one that would see the Phoenix rise again in ways that no one could have predicted. It's January 2024, and the Evo Archers and Little Prince have received several nerfs, paving the way for the Phoenix to rise from the ashes once more. The Phoenix's usage rate began to climb, reaching nearly 3% in June alone. But that was only the beginning of the Phoenix's resurgence. The introduction of the Evo Bomber provided players with an excellent addition to their Royal Giant decks. Upon its release, the Bomber was incredibly overpowered, with a cycle of only one, meaning that every other bomber was evolved, and additionally, its bomb jumps had a much greater range than it does today. These factors made the Bomber an ideal card to include in Royal Giant decks, and with the Phoenix serving as the main defensive card, its usage rate skyrocketed to a pretty impressive 4.7%. However, this was merely the prelude of what was to come, as Clash Royale was on the verge of entering a new era unlike anything players had experienced so far. As players adjusted to the new meta, another significant change was about to take place. The catalyst for this change was a massive buff to the Giant in October 2023. A balance update increased the Giant's range from 1.2 tiles to 1.6, classifying its range as melee long. This change allowed the Giant to connect with buildings and towers earlier, making it a much more significant threat. But why was that relevant to the Phoenix's story? Well, in April, Clash Royale introduced the most broken tower troop ever released, the Dagger Duchess. This new card completely shattered the meta, forcing players to relearn the game and its interactions from scratch. The Dagger Duchess was extremely overpowered upon release, with her throwing knives dealing more damage and her tower boasting more hit points. However, once double or triple elixir time hit, she quickly ran out of ammo. And this is where the Giant's range buff comes into play. The Giant became the perfect counter to the Dagger Duchess, as she would rapidly throw knives at him, depleting her ammo. This allowed players to push with their support troops, and the Phoenix emerged as the best air troop for this strategy. The legend was back, and stronger than ever before. The Phoenix's usage rate skyrocketed yet again from a mere 1.5% in December of 2023 to an astonishing 34.5% in April of 2024. A staggering 2,300% increase in just 5 months. This incredible comeback highlights how the meta can evolve, and even the least used card in the game can rise from the shadows to become one of the best. And the best is yet to come. The Phoenix's evolution is on the horizon, and I'm confident that it will once again break the game upon its release. But for now, I want you to watch this video next, where I take you into the history of the most irritating troop in the game. It's a tale that you won't want to miss.